Good evening, everyone. It's 5 p.m. on Saturday, 9th of April, and you are watching CU News. I am Alka Salin Raju, reporting from the newsroom. Let us look at the headlines for today. Christ University has geared up for Blossoms, the interdeanery cultural event that is being held today. Student Welfare Office is holding a Siddharth Menon concert at Christ University as part of Blossoms. The concert commenced today at 4:30 p.m. Bengaluru Metropolitan Transport Corporation ties up with TUMUK to facilitate online booking of tickets and cashless travel. 700 students flee back to India due to the escalating tensions between Russia and Ukraine. Karnataka government extends a helping hand by allowing them to attend local medical colleges. The Bengaluru Metro Rail Corporation takes a step towards eco-friendliness by harnessing solar energy. Phase 2 of the plan is set to be completed by March 2023. Ejipura-Koramangala flyover construction works continue in full swing. The flyover is expected to be completed by the end of this year. Prices of auto LPG hits an all-time high. Prices were increased for the 12th time in last 14 days. Now let us look at the news in detail. First, campus news. The interdeanery cultural event of Christ University Blossoms is all set to see its first offline celebration in 2 years. The participants were selected after an online round of auditions, and the competition is indeed pretty tough this year. Our reporter Anushka Bhattacharya joins us from Christ University.
The Student Welfare Office of Christ deemed to be university presents a cultural extravaganza with Blossoms 2022. Uniting people with culture, peace, and an enticing spectacle of talents. Blossoms is conducted in 2 phases for both individual and group events. The intra-deanery event had registrations open for art, literary, and stage events. From digital art, non-themed dance to painting and photography, Blossoms 2022 provides Christites with an opportunity and platform to showcase their talents. The best of all 3 deaneries from all 3 campuses of Christ University take part in the finale. While Phase 1 was conducted on the online platform between 3rd March and 9th March, the final crowning of the best deanery is ought to take place after 9th April, marking the end of Phase 2. With thousands of participants and only 2 teams from each deanery, the competition was one of the highest recorded in the history of Blossoms. I'm Anushka Bhattacharya. More updates on Blossoms 2022 only on CU News.
Christ University is currently painted in colors of joys and festivities during their 2-day fest, Blossoms. The fest witnessed numerous interdeanery competition and ends with the highlight of the whole fest, a live concert by the playback singer Siddharth Menon, organized by the SWO. Kasung Rana brings the latest.
Good evening. We are reporting from the Blossoms Fest held here at the Christ University. Everyone here is all geared up for the performance that is going to be held here by Siddharth Menon, who is a well-renowned playback singer, a film actor, and the co-founder and the vocalist of Thaikudam Bridge Music Band. The concert here is conducted by the Student Welfare Office of the Christ University and is taking place at the main auditorium. Fans have already filled the auditorium to its maximum capacity, and we can see people still waiting to get a glimpse of the singer. I'm sure this will be a great experience for the faculty as well as the students of Christ University. I'm Kasung with Alka reporting from Christ University.
Thank you Anushka and Kasung for bringing us news straight from the campus. Now we will move on to regional news. The Bengaluru Metropolitan Transport Corporation (BMTC) is taking steps towards cashless payments and online bookings. Joining us to share more on the news is Naisargi Karnam to explain the new developments that have taken place in the BMTC booking process.
The Bengaluru Metropolitan Transport Corporation has taken a major decision to share its data with private companies to facilitate the booking of bus tickets and bus passes using online payment methods. The BMTC's IT wing is supportive of this development as it brings commuter convenience and has certain long-term results to look forward to. As this plan has begun to be executed, BMTC has made ties with the private company TUMUK, which works towards cashless travel in public transport in the city. This new development could have major implications to the way transactions take place in city buses, many of which we are yet to see. I'm Naisagi Karnam, reporting for Christ News.
The Bengaluru Metro Rail Corporation is also making a few changes of its own. BMRCL is taking a step towards becoming eco-friendly and is setting an example for all metro cities in India. Rushali Mariam joins us in the conversation to tell us how BMRCL is making this happen.
The Bangalore Metro Rail Corporation is planning to harness solar energy to run its trains. BMRCL is looking at the installation of solar panels in all Phase 2, 2A and 2B metro stations by March 2023. Currently, 5 stations have solar panels installed: Konanakunta Cross, Dodda Kalasandra, Vajrahalli, Talaghattapura and Silk Institute on Kanakpura Road Metro Corridor, the Green Line. Metro uses a third rail system that provides electric traction power to trains. Officials have said that a major share of power required for the third rail and auxiliary requirements such as escalators and AC at stations can be fulfilled through solar energy. The current monthly power expense for third rail alone is approximately Rs 3.9 crores. With the current generation of 1.8 lakh units of power through solar panels, they save Rs 10.8 lakhs a month. BMRCL is also hoping to reduce the dependency on non-renewable sources and cut down on its energy bills. This is Rushali Mariam reporting for Christ University News.
The much-awaited completion of the construction of Ejipura-Kormangala flyover draws nearer. The construction is expected to be completed by the end of this year. Alina Manoj joins us from the site to give us more information.
The construction of the Ejipura-Kormangala flyover is expected to be completed by the end of this year, as the High Court of Karnataka on 29th March permitted Simplex Infrastructure Limited to file an affidavit undertaking to complete the project in a timely manner. The new development arose after the company approached the Karnataka High Court following the termination of the contract by the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagarapalik (BBMP), citing delay in work. The contract was awarded to the Kolkata-based construction firm Simplex Infrastructure Limited on May 4, 2017, and the project was expected to be completed by November 2019. But multiple deadlines were missed despite warnings, and only 42.83% of the 204 crore rupee project has been completed till date. Residents have also raised complaints about not being consulted about the project and held a protest last year against felling of trees for the project. The flyover would be completed by 31st December 2022 as per the undertaking directed by the Karnataka High Court. I'm Alina Manoj reporting for Christ News.
Petrol prices skyrocket as they continue to rise across the country. Prices went up 14 times over the past 2 weeks, with hikes occurring almost on a daily basis. Donna Dominic joins us to brief us about the rise in prices.
Petrol and auto LPG price hits an all-time high, causing the drivers all around the city to demand more EV subsidies. By the beginning of the month of April, auto LPG went to a record of Rs 74.2 per litre from the already 65.4 rupees, and the prices of petrol increased to 111 rupees per litre. The price of auto LPG has increased by an overall percentage of 128, and petrol prices continue to increase on a daily basis. The workers find it very hard with the current situation, as most of them are focusing on getting back to daily jobs after 2 whole years with COVID and the pandemic situation. Many drivers are now adhering to the government set fares, and passengers may be asked to pay an additional of Rs 10 or 20 to assist them through this crisis. The centre keeps boosting the auto LPG rates without taking into account the prices and the situation of the poor drivers. A series of agitations can be expected after the festive season. Many passengers, on the other hand, have complained that the auto drivers were charging more than the government mandated fare, and that neither traffic cops nor the transportation department were conducting enforcement drives. I am Donna Dominic reporting for CU News.
Escalations in Ukraine have rippling effects across the people living in the country. Indian students studying in the country had to return back due to tensions with Russia. Amrita Madhu joins us to explain how the Karnataka government has come up with a way to help these students.
In light of the escalations in Ukraine following heavy tensions with Russia, the situation of international students in the country took a turn for the worse. They were forced to flee the country in an attempt to seek safety, leaving behind their education. The war-torn country saw the fleeing of about 700 medical students back to India, most of whom are currently attending their classes online. The students are once again deprived of the practical exposure that the subject requires, which was previously curtailed due to the pandemic restrictions. The Karnataka government has permitted the students to temporarily attend the local medical colleges. However, this decision is not the most favorable for students as they are still not completely absorbed into the colleges. The Ukrainian students requested and presented their situation to the Minister of Medical Education, Mr. K. Sudhakar, during their meeting with him. The challenges of permanently absorbing these students into the colleges arises the distress of limited seats, availability of professors, and infrastructure to accommodate the same. Mr. K. Sudhakar explained that a high-level committee has been formed to address the issue, where a report discussing the possible rehabilitation methods will be prepared. Based on the existing regulations and developments to the situation, the government aims to soon make a decision in the best interest of the students. This is Amrita Madhu reporting for Christ University News.
These were the top stories for this hour. This was Alka Raju bringing you the latest news around Bangalore. Thank you for joining us and have a great day ahead.